Good morning, Mr. Aditya, Colonel Aditya. How are you? Welcome to our show,
Good morning,
Shukriya
Dr.
Zindagi.
Alka. Thank you. I'm fine. How are
Thank
you?
you for, yes, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you for coming on our show and agreeing to take
Thank
out
you.
your time, valuable time from your routine, your busy routine. So, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm very good.
So, what are you up to nowadays? And Colonel Aditya, I'm so grateful that you have come on our channel, and I want you to tell us what you're doing nowadays after in your second innings, and then I will go back and I will talk to you about your childhood and why did you take up army as your career, and what
Mhm.
made you take up that thing as a career. So, tell me now, what are you doing nowadays, sir?
So right now, Dr. Alka, I'm a career coach and mentor for the youth. I guide them in selecting the right career for themselves, especially the school students, and thereafter help them excel in that. That is one thing which I'm doing. In addition, there are lots of people who want to join the armed forces. So anybody who comes to me for guidance in the terms of preparation for the SSB interview for joining the armed forces, I do guide them in that. And plus, I'm also a inner transformation and mindfulness coach. So wherein I help people transform their lives through empowerment. So this is what I am doing right now in my second innings. Uh, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice to hear this,
Mm.
Colonel Aditya. Even after doing a lovely career of army, a successful career in army, you still want to do so much for the
Mm.
world, and you want to do live a life of contribution, helping students, helping people, and giving them lives of transformation. I'm really amazed at what your calling is. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm really keen to know, when you were a little boy, what you
Mhm.
wanted to become and what made you really come into the army.
So actually, when I was in school and college, that time we did not have much choices for us. It was either you go in for take science or arts as subjects in 11th, and that too. Then again, science may you either take PCM or PCB, whether you want to become a doctor or
Right.
engineer. These were the only choices left, and if you did not want to do any of these, then you used to take art. Even that time, even commerce was also not available as an option. Because my father wanted me to study science and become an engineer, so I took up science as a subject in my school in 11th, 12th, and thereafter I did appear for NDA because those days NDA armed forces was a good option. So I applied for NDA. I did not clear the exam, so I did my graduation. And plus, while I was doing graduation, I was looking at different careers, and I had to suffer a few setbacks. So I from science I switched over to commerce. I completed my BCom, and then after that I appeared for my CDS exam. So I cleared the written, but I did not get through in the SSB in the first time. So while I was doing that, I also did a course in computer programming. Started working as a computer programmer for about a year and a half. Plus, simultaneously, I was preparing for the armed forces. And in my, I like main reason why I wanted to join was that my Tauji was in the Air Force and my real Masaji was in the Navy. So these were the two people who motivated me to join the army. And because I could not join Air Force or Navy because there was a requirement that you should have done PCM in your graduation. And since I was a commerce graduate, so Army was the only choice. And then one of my very close classmates from school, he had joined Army, so he was also, I used to come home when while training. Then I visited his unit also when I was working in Chandigarh. So that motivated, and finally I was at a crossroad wherein I got selected for a job in a computer company as a computer programmer and also for the army. So I chose army because one was, of course, it was a more respectable profession. You had security in terms of job security. Plus you get to see different parts of the country. You have lots of adventure and excitement in life. So that was the reason why I joined. And luckily, I wanted to join the armored corps, so I got it. So I'm a tankman at heart, and now so that is again it was my journey as I finally made it to the academy and joining the army. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you had a great journey towards the army, and it was
Mhm.
not so easy, as I can
Yeah, it was
see.
not
You
easy.
know,
It was not
yeah.
easy. You had to
And I
really
think,
work hard. Mm.
yeah, and I think getting into the army is not easy because while you were talking, I was
Mhm.
remembering my father used to tell me that he wanted to go into the army, and he
Mhm.
went for the exam, and
Mhm.
for the physical training, may he had failed, and he
Okay.
could not
Mhm.
pass that physical training. Although he was an athlete person, he was a
Mhm.
badminton player, he was a top swimmer,
Mhm.
but he told me, I remember very distinctly. So, sorry. So kudos to you that you passed all exams and you went into the army. And tell me, how was it in the army? What did you learn from the army?
So
And
I
what was your
think
journey for
so.
33 years that you
I think my journey in the army was very good, and it was full of ups and downs and lots of adventure, and you got to work different kind of environments. You worked with different kind of people, and also different kind of situation. I was also fortunate to see some operations also, so I had that experience. Posted in JNK in the on the line of control, where I was a post commander, and I got a chance to interact with my counterparts across the line of control. I did a couple of flag meetings with them, so that was a different kind of experiences. Then, of course, you also had to overcome the vagaries of the weather. High altitude in Ladakh, it was like temperature used to go down -50 in the winters, and plus of course high altitude effect and other things were there. Then also most of the time my service was while I was in my unit, it was in the deserts of Rajasthan and plains of Punjab. So it used to be a different kind of a environment, and it being in the armored corps, it gave me a lot of exposure to you take your own decision, take command of your actions, and also working with your men. So it was like especially of Vijay and of Parakram were the two main operations which one had seen, and one was deployed, and one was raring to go across the border, but that did not take place. So we had to, but we were on the alert for throughout almost about 1 month, 1 year in of Parakram, and about 6 months in of Vijay. So it was a different experience. Plus, you also got to learn a lot of new things. We used to continue upgrading ourselves. We had a system of having promotion exams which you have to pass to go to the next rank. And also, you do a lot of the various courses, professional courses in the army. So that way, yeah, that learning was a continuous process. So you were initially you were learning, then they later on you became guide and mentor to your young officers and the men. So it was a very, I would say, satisfying experience for me. And given a chance, I would again go back to my regiment in my next life also. That would be there. Yes.
wonderful.
Mm.
Your love for the country is easily visible with what you're talking, and I'm really proud of you. I'm proud that you're my friend, and I've met you in this today's day, and I'm really proud of you. So, Colonel Aditya, you tell me it was tough.
Yeah, it
Life
was
was tough. You were
definitely.
going to Jammu and Kashmir. You were living in Rajasthan. So, don't you think that challenges and situations when they come in our life, they make us tough and they make us strong and they make us grow?
Yes, definitely, Dr. Alka, and not only us as officers, but even our families, our wives, our
Yeah.
children also will have to undergo the same kind of experience.
Yes,
So
I was.
there used to be situation wherein whenever you were required at home, you were never available because of the
Yeah.
exigencies of the service. So like when my son was born, I was not there. I got to know, and then I went and
Yeah.
met them. Similarly, same thing happened with my daughter. Most of our anniversaries and birthdays were spent like so. Your wife used to be the backbone of the family who used
Yeah.
to take charge, and so that way, I would say the army wives make a lot of sacrifices in their life. They're like,
बिल्कुल.
if you are a working professional, you have to leave that, and you have to leave everything, look after your children, and so, and any only easiest thing for them is to start teaching in a school, because you can otherwise any other job if you take, then it becomes difficult to manage. So they also have to make a lot of sacrifices. So your children get used to change. They become adaptable, and it is very easy for them to adjust to changing circumstances. Like you have to, after every 2 or 3 years, you're moving from one place to other, and at times you're living half your life in your luggage used to be locked in the boxes, and you were
Yeah.
living in short 2 room set or 1 room set. So it makes of course us, it is we have no choice, it is our part of life, but it makes your families and children also much more strong. And then when
Yes.
they grow up, when they grow up, especially our children, when they grow up, when they go outside in the civil street, and whatever profession they do really very well, because it becomes very easy for them to adjust to the changing
Yes.
circumstances.
I think the biggest thing that when you're talking about this listening, I was just thinking the biggest thing that we learn is disattachment. क्योंकि एक
Yeah,
घर
yeah,
में मन लग
absolutely.
जाता है, then you go to the next house, फिर वहाँ
Yeah,
मन लगता है, फिर नए दोस्त बनते हैं, वहाँ के पुराने दोस्त
absolutely.
रह जाते हैं. So I think the children also adapt slowly, slowly.
Mhm.
So what was your, they must be scared also now when you were going on the border and all, your
Yeah,
family, your
it
wife,
does.
your parents, what was their reaction? What was
So
their reaction when you
those time, like, only thing is there were times like now, so we have access to mobile phones and everything. I remember when I first went for my first posting to Kargil. That was way back in '92. So we did not have access to telephone. There were no mobiles. There were no telephones. Even STD was not available. STD PCO, there were used to be only one STD PCO in Leh. And if you have to make a call, so you have to wait for your turn, you have to book a call, then keep waiting. Then when you are talking to your family, it used to be like a one-way communication. Yes, two persons
yeah,
cannot speak simultaneously. So those were the tough times one had to go. So we were totally dependent upon letter writing. So one used to write a lot, almost like a one letter every day to your wife or your parents, and as you grow up to your children also. So that was how one adjusted. And I would say only thing which was constant is the change in our life. Any
yeah,
person who is in the armed forces, whether officer or men or their families, their children, change is the constant. Everything else takes care of you. And but biggest advantage was that since you're a unit, so it was like a one big family. That used to be our first family. So they used to look after each other. When the
yes,
officers are away, the ladies used to look after themselves, their children, and so they were together. So it was a big, I would say, moral and mental support for the ladies. And so that is
yeah.
how people could uh, take care of all the challenges which you faced in your life. And it
Yes.
makes you more stronger and resilient also. And later on, so it helps you. That is there.
I think there is no better lesson learned than from you about resilience because you have seen maximum of those kind of challenges in
Yeah.
your life. And what you were telling about writing letters to your wife and to your family. So
Mhm.
have they preserved those letters and would they
Yeah,
write back
yeah.
to you also? They would
Yes,
also
yes.
write back to you.
Yes, yes.
So
So it
do
was
you
like,
have the letters?
so
Do you have all those letters? Do
I
you
have,
read it? Do you read it?
so now they are kept in a box. All those memories, then they are in a box. But you do
Yeah,
when you read them, so you realize. So you
yeah,
would say, ki, now in the modern era, people don't write. People are not used to write
yeah.
because they are used to texting. But there was those who
That is
used
the
to write.
treasure. Yeah.
Those days we used to write 10 pages letters. You can imagine.
Wow, 10 pages. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. क्या बात है. आप तो फिर पूरे writer ही हो. And I remember as a child, my dad had gone abroad for 2 years to
Mm,
Canada, and he used to write me letters. कि
mm,
don't worry, I'll be back, and encouraging letters. तो वो सारी चिट्ठियाँ मेरी येलो येलो कलर हो गई हैं, लेकिन मैंने
mm.
संभाल के रखी हुई हैं.
बिल्कुल,
And
absolutely.
my husband when he went abroad for studying, तभी भी लेटर हम लोग लिखते थे एक दूसरे को. तो मेरा तो पास टाइम है. I love
Mm,
reading those letters, and then I show him also कि ये आपने प्रॉमिस
mm,
किया था. आप बहुत प्रोमिस करते थे कि ये करोगे, ये करोगे, ये करोगे, सब झूठ बोलते थे. तो चिट्ठियों में वो कहते हैं झूठ बोलना अलाउड है. So letter writing is a great hobby, and what
yeah,
you're telling me that you used to read the letters and you used to send the letters. You must read the letters. I think we should read
yeah, yeah.
letters. It will
We
be a
do
great
once in a while.
experience.
It is a great experience actually.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Then
Mm.
she can also show you what promises you were making that time. Okay, but I would say one thing that Mrs. Singhal must be very great lady to have the courage and the, the resilience to take care of the whole house and to take care of the kids. As you rightly pointed out that फौजी बीवियां जो होती हैं बहुत मजबूत होती हैं, बहुत स्ट्रांग होती हैं, एंड सब लोग कहते हैं कि फौजी बीवियों को एक अलग अवार्ड देना चाहिए. तो आपने
Absolutely.
कभी ये व्यक्त किया है अपनी वाइफ को? आप हमेशा बोलते हो उनको कि तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, या हैव यू एवर शोन दैट थिंग टू हर
So
एट
like
होम? बाहर वाले
so
तो बहुत तारीफ करते हैं.
you know, we are also used to controlling our emotions. So we don't show through emotions, but you do show
Yeah,
appreciation in different ways to
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
wife.
yeah.
That is
I'm
there.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, men
And at
men
times,
show.
at times, what happens is even if you are not showing, they demand. So then you have no choice but to show appreciation. That also happens.
Very correct.
I'm sure you must
Very,
be doing
very
the same with
nice.
your husband also.
Yeah, but I'm more expressive because I always tell that you're wearing a nice tie today. Your shirt is looking very nice. You're looking very handsome. But men don't tell. तो हम लोग
That is
इसलिए भी
it.
बोलते हैं. हाँ, तो men are not very expressive. Very few men I have seen are expressive, but mostly men, they show their love by by caring for each other,
Yeah.
by being thoughtful. Like when I go for a when I'm going for a flight, अभी तो गए नहीं बहुत सालों से, तो वो देखेंगे कि मेरी वेब चेक इन कर लेंगे, मेरा बोर्डिंग पास बना लेंगे, मेरे को टैक्सी बुला देंगे, और मेरे को कहीं सेमिनार में जाना है, तो he will do everything that I am secure and safe. That is their love. So most of the men,
Yeah.
and every human being has a different love language. Everybody has a different love language.
Definitely.
That is what it is. And the Fauji people also have a different love language,
Absolutely.
because they are always worried about giving security and safety to their family. I think for you, the number one thing which comes to you is your love and affection is shown by giving them lot of security and safety.
Yes.
वो घबराए हुए होते हैं ना, घबराए होते हैं ना, डरे डरे होते हैं ना कि पापा लोग जा रहे हैं तो क्या होगा, है ना? That is also there.
And the thing is, yeah, at times what happens is, especially when we went to a field area where your families were not allowed, you have to stay. So there were challenges at times which they are facing. They had to handle them on their own, because even if you want to, you cannot help them because you are so far away from them. Only thing is you can just tell them on telephone or whatever how to go about it, what to do, but that way they become more independent also.
Independent, yeah. They come to stand on their own feet and
Absolutely.
they become very independent.
Yeah.
So Col.Aditya, now the one more question, last question I'll ask you, that now you're dealing with young people, with young students, and also you're in the coaching industry, transforming millions of people. So what would be your message to the students first? Like what would you want the students to learn from you? That is one thing.
So Dr. Alka, as far as the students are concerned, what I feel is that one should be truthful to oneself firstly. And these days, the younger generation are more, I would say, not lucky, but they have the wherewithal available to, the resources available to, and even they have got more options to select from. So one has to identify their own what they call calling or what their interest, and once they have decided that, once they have selected a particular profession, then they have to put in their best. Then they have to go all out in terms of their energy, their dedication, determination, everything should be put in, so that you excel at that particular field which you have chosen for yourself.
Absolutely.
Same, and plus, of course, that is one part, because it is a competitive world now. Especially right from, we have seen that when they come to college, at some places, even after having secured 100% mark, you are not able to get admission in the school in the course of your choice. So that is one thing which they have to be aware of. And plus, once you have selected a particular thing, put in all your best. Initial years, when you have to really struggle. The initial journey, when you start working for 4-5 years, you have to really work from the grassroots level, so that then that will help you for the rest of your life. So struggle is part of everyone. Yeah.
So I have seen students, they come to me in my clinic. Not many of them are, sure of what they really want to do. There will be at least 10 to 20% who are really sure of what they want. They go for the career, they get it, they can focus. But what would you say to the children who are not sure of themselves? They have multiple things in their mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for them, best thing is to take seek professional advice. They are people who are experts who have taken the have the required certification qualification, like I am also doing. So what we do is like
Yeah.
you can't. So it is not only the students, but even their parents need to be aware of that. So what is happening is
Yeah.
these days parents are not aware. So that is why even if a child wants to do something different, they want them to go to a traditional thing. So parents and children have to work together, go to a take counselor, go through the entire process, let them go through that process of doing psychometric tests, find their aptitude. Then what will happen is once I'm aware about the interest of the child, I'm also aware about the aptitude, then I can match the two, align them and tell them, then I can tell them which are the fields you can choose from. And of course
Absolutely.
these days it is quite possible for a person to convert their passion into profession, which was not possible earlier, because
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
so many options available. So but the thing is they have to have aware about these things, they have to take professional expert advice so that they can make informed decisions and they do not regret. Because one other thing I have seen is a lot of people who do engineering or due to pressure, peer pressure, or from the pressure from parents, and once they have done that, thereafter they feel ki, I don't know, I'm in the wrong profession now, I want to change. So they have lost their golden years, one. Secondly, in addition, they have also denied that seat or vacancy to a deserving person who actually wanted to do that.
Bilkul
especially
ठीक है, बिल्कुल.
especially those who are going to IITs and or government colleges, where people who cannot afford the private institute
Yeah.
fees, for them they are losing out. If you see IITs and IIM, there are 50% vacancies remain unoccupied
Yeah.
because they are reserved, and those who join them because of various quotas, they're struggling to complete the course
Yes.
itself. So it is wastage
Absolutely.
for both the child
Yeah.
as a student, as well as for the other people who are losing out on this opportunity. That is one thing which
Absolutely.
which is also to be taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. So even in the medical college, we used to
Mhm.
find in our class, there used to be a lot of children who to take the medical field. उस
Mhm.
time पे इतना competition नहीं होता था,
Yeah.
इतना आजकल ज़्यादा है. But then they would not continue. Especially we
Mhm.
used to have a lot of politicians and their
Mhm.
children take up the seat and they would not come for the classes and then they would
Yeah.
waste their money. That was also one of the things. Today also when I was teaching in DY Patil, the capitation fee, they pay like lakhs of rupees for getting
Yes.
the seat, but they
Mhm.
don't attend the classes and all that. So that is very, very sad.
Yeah.
So, Colonel Aditya, the next thing that I want to ask you is about the transformation journey. So, what do
Mhm.
you think that transformation journey is about, and how is it going to help the future generation or anybody for that matter in their
So,
life, in their career? How it's going to help them?
So, Dr. Alka, transformation journey is basically it is about your changing your mindset, because everything is in your mind. So, if we allow our mind to control our thoughts and our actions, that times we find that we are doing something which we don't want to do, or we that these create stress and other issues in a person's life. But if you are able to control your mind, if you are able to understand yourself, the thing is, like you mentioned, that people don't know what they want. So
Yeah, very,
transformation is all about knowing what I am, understanding what I want, what are my values, and what are
yeah,
the things which are holding me back. And so if I'm able to overcome those things which are holding me back, or which are preventing me from succeeding in what I am doing, or acting as an obstacle in my journey, if I'm able to identify and overcome that, then my chances of success in any field are much better. Whether it is related to your health, whether it is your career, whether it is your finances, any field you can take it. Even your relationship with your parents, your family,
yeah,
partner, or even your friends and relatives.
absolutely.
So the transformer is basically, it is aimed at helping the individual to identify these things about him and find a way so that they whatever is holding back, you overcome them. Obviously, you think you'll still feel low ups and lows in your life, but you'll be better equipped to deal with both things. You'll not to become too happy when you're treating success, and you'll not go down into the downs when you're not succeeding. So it will help you maintain a balance, and that will be a recipe for success, I would say, for any person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
And
you,
I
Dr.
feel,
Alita.
yeah, I sometimes feel, that all about this transformation is all about an inner journey. It is about
Yes.
looking within yourself,
Mm.
And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि स्कूलों में भी दिखाना बताना चाहिए ये बातें,
Mhm.
because our children are they're equipping our children to go for jobs, they go to go for this, to go for careers, but the inner journey is completely forgotten. Even in college they are going to different directions, but that inner journey part should be taught even in colleges and schools upfront. So thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you, Dr.
journey,
Alita.
and I would wish you all the best for your second innings,
Thank you.
for your transformation ka career, and for the students guiding career, because I feel that you are a great asset to our society, to our country, and to our nation, and you are doing a lot of work for the world, a work of contribution, which is, I think, a very, very noble work that you're doing. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us in this program of Shukriya Zindagi. Shukriya
Thank
to
you,
you.
Dr. Alita.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And Shukriya to you for giving me a chance to come on your show. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. It was my privilege also to call you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.